Purple Heart Homes presents Putting the Pieces Back Together, a forum for veterans and community members. Here are your hosts, veterans John Gallina and Devin Alexander.
Hey, Devin.
Well, hello.
Great to be here with you again this week.
I mean, yeah.
I know you're a little heartbroken that I had to move the couch out of the studio.
What is that about? I like the couch.
I like a little more barrier in between
I
us.
see that. You get like a whole thing in between us. I mean, what even is this? Like a nightstand? Did you bring this from home?
Well, no, don't think of it being that close. It's not a nightstand. This is our cool Rolly headset stand.
You don't even know what it is.
Yeah, well, making it up as I go.
Hey, you know what? I found out this weekend that we actually do have a few fans out there.
We do.
Yeah,
Are these ceiling fans or box fans? What kind of fans?
No, the kind that listen to our show.
So they're part of the 10.
Yeah, there was part of the 10. I was at a festival and I laughed, and this guy out of nowhere comes running up, and he like shakes my hand and he hugs me, and I was like, oh, I must know this dude, but I've forgotten where to place him. And he's like, I've never met you before, but I listened to you on the radio show.
Nice.
Yeah. So
you had your 5 minutes of fame.
So we're up to 11 fans now. Hey, if y'all are listening and you are our fans, we don't believe that you're out there. So please go to our social media, make comments, share that thing, so we can see that you actually do love us.
Hey, and Devin, that since you've over the course of the last 2 years been able to garner one fan, I figure we might need to do something to boost our reputation a little bit. So we got a new co-host here with us today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we brought in Leah with the construction team over there.
Oh, she's not just with the construction team.
She is the construction team.
Oh yeah. Hey, look at there.
I'll take that.
There's Joshua Ray Hudson's impersonation.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us again today. This time, you're not the guest.
Right.
You're a co-host.
Yes.
Right.
Different role.
Different role. You're used to that.
I am.
You kind of get put in a lot of different roles here at Purple Heart Homes.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you joining
thank
us. And certainly we know you don't do all that work alone. So for our listeners out there, tell them a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do at Purple Heart Homes and the rest of y'all's team.
So I am married with 3 kids, recently retired from the military after 27 years, live in Hickory, and I came to work here, 10 months ago as the production manager. And so I maintain and monitor all the logistics and operations of our tiny homes.
And tell us a little bit about the rest of your team.
And we have a technical construction manager who is Val. And then we have 5 construction specialists that build the tiny
Trying
homes.
to increase that number a little bit, I think,
I was trying to remember how he's on the phone.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, like a bunch of little ants back there just constantly building stuff.
Yep, we finally got it into like a manufacturing process now, so where we're putting the homes in phases.
Yeah, doing a great job too.
Thank you.
And I believe just kind of give a shout out for your team there. I believe y'all just cut down like about another week and a half off the schedule, and
We did.
Continuing to reduce the cost
impressive.
of the home. So
We have, especially by pre-kitting our walls, and having everything pre-cut prior to building the next home. And then moving the homes around, and then also having the materials staged so that way they're right there when the guys start working, so we're not back and forth. So just really organizing the back area, the warehouse, is what really increased the time.
There's a lot going on there. Now, when we say team, do we mean race team?
sort of like a pit crew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
But we got an expert about pit crews on our show today as our guest. I see what you did there, Devin.
Nice,
yeah,
nice segue.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Well,
you're not talking in
been doing
circles
this
today.
for a while.
Yeah.
Right here on hold, we've got Dale Ogburn, is two-time champion of the Carolina Crate Modified Series. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's right.
Now Dale's not just a racer; he's a veteran himself.
That's correct.
And so really excited to have him on. We met Dale a couple years ago and been doing some great things in the racing world, but also just as an individual, and honestly, even personally, didn't realize all the different connections that he and I had together. But goes all the way back really to the beginning of Purple Heart Homes through some of his family connections and mine, and so it's really great to have him as a guest on the show with us today, and looking forward to hearing about his story. So Dale, welcome. Tell us where you're from, and let's kind of get started. And while I know we're excited to share about the recent winnings there on the track, we also really want to kind of hear some of your backstory about your service as well. So tell us where you're from, and then we'll get started into the racing piece a little bit after the break.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was born in Chesapeake, Virginia. Moved to Mooresville, North Carolina when I was about 8 years old. Started pursuing a career in racing that young, and I did that until I was about 17, and then that's when I decided to take a little different path and try something out of my comfort zone and join the Army. So from there, I lived all over after that.
And so when you joined the Army, what did you initially want to do in the Army?
So initially, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to jump out of perfectly good airplanes. So
now wait a minute. Somebody that wants to jump out of airplanes and drive really fast in circles while people are cheering on, that kind of like makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, you can kind of see how the adrenaline junkie side of me kind of comes out there. But so I just, I wanted to pick something that I thought would have some meaning, and that allowed me to become a paratrooper, and I was able to become a small arms repair with First Special Forces Group, and that's where I maintained my entire career. So it was a good time, and don't regret it at all.
So small arms repair, that's like working on pistols? What is that?
Yeah, so basically we work on everything from the smallest pistol that you have, and the entire MOS itself can go all the way up to 777 artillery. So obviously our unit didn't have that. We were light, so the biggest thing we had was mortars. So that's pretty much what I specialized in was small arms. And then as I was in first group longer, I got some of those peculiar trainings that you get only in the soft community for specific weapons. Having to do with, our joint forces. So different kind of foreign weapons. And then also some of the peculiar weapons that the special forces teams use today.
So we got about 1 minute left. And before we head to this break, because, we've got to pay for this beautiful new studio.
Well, we don't really have to. It's more on Justin and WSIC, but they force us to take the break.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to them about that. I feel like that we could really get by without that.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
So you think everybody would just want to listen to just you talking because you got so many fans out there?
Well, I was thinking maybe I would just do the advertisements, the commercials.
Well, they've already said it's hot in here and they had to turn the air conditioning on.
They're just listening to my win. Hey, you've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together.
All right, we're back, and thanks for staying tuned in for us.
Where did we go?
Well, I didn't really go anywhere, but I'm never sure where you're at to begin with, so...
I'm in my own world, friend.
You are. I'm glad you just let me orbit around it.
Well, it's everybody needs a
comic relief.
Absolutely,
there we
yeah.
go.
I had no idea where I was going with that. Thank you, Leah.
You're welcome.
That's what you're here for. Is when I get lost in my own thoughts to give me a little jolt.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
It really is great having a little bit of comic relief in your life. And good days, bad days, we all need a good laugh.
Good times, bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a Led Zeppelin song.
Look, just because Joshua Ray Hudson comes in here singing does not mean that you can sing it.
Well, when you said that it's getting hot in here, my mind started going through that song, and I was like, I
was singing
should
that
not
for John.
Yeah.
Let's just keep everything on.
Yeah, but please.
Oh,
please,
man.
So back to our guest here. We got Dale Ogburn, two-time. What's the modified car? Tell me that again that you're racing.
That's the Carolina Crate Modified Series.
Carolina Crate Modified Series. I always just think open wheel modifieds. It seems like that's what they used to be called, but now there's so many different types of series and locations. So tell me, where exactly do you race this car at?
So right now we race the Carolina Crate Modified all over the southern region. So Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. And then earlier this year, we also were able to go up to New York and run another kind of modified up there. Very similar, but just a little bit different in the rules and different aspects of it. But pretty similar car. And we were able to fare pretty well there. It's one of their bigger races up in Evans Mills, New York, which is like almost Canada. And we were able to get a podium finish there. So third in my second race ever in that car. So we were pretty proud of that one.
Boy, that is a lot to be proud of. I want to step back just a little bit back to your service. So, small arms specialist, first Special Forces Group, come out of Virginia, moved obviously to North Carolina. Tell us a little bit about your time in the service. Where were some places that you were able to go and share with our listeners a little bit about what type of work you were doing in the service?
Yeah, so I was actually really fortunate being stationed with First Special Forces Group that I got to travel a lot around Southeast Asia. So the first place I ever went, like outside of the U.S., was Japan, where I was stationed for about 3 years. And from there, I was able to venture out and do some different trainings with joint forces, like the Australian SAS, the Special Forces teams in Thailand, Philippines, Laos, a lot of different really cool countries over there. And then also once I kind of came back, I switched battalions. So first battalion's over in Okinawa, Japan, which is where I initially was. And then when I switched battalions, I came over to 3rd Battalion, which is out of Joint Base Lewis McChord. And from there, I deployed to Afghanistan for 6 months in 2018. And then soon after, I left service in 2020.
So you went a lot of places. How long were you in?
I did about 6 years.
And so what was your favorite? Where was your favorite duty station?
Duty station would definitely have to be Japan.
I just knew you were going to say Fort Bragg. That's where I really thought it was going to be.
I was never stationed there. I did a good bit of training. I spent a good bit of time with Fort Bragg, and one of the nice things is that it was close to home, so that was a benefit. But as far as stuff to do and the views, you can't beat Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, I thought it was the pine trees, the red-headed woodpecker.
You notice every military base you go to has the same distinct smell.
Oh yeah,
it's like all pine and dirt.
Oh, I was thinking.
I thought it was the smell of salty tears. I didn't.
Well, that too.
That's just Marine bases.
It was the smell of disappointment.
But they're all in the most miserable places in that state.
Yeah.
Like everywhere you go, that's like the most miserable, except for like Hawaii and Okinawa, right?
I know wherever a Marine base is, there is sand. I mean, like you could find a place out in the middle of Wisconsin. If the Marines have decided to set up a base there, they're going to bring the sand in.
They import it.
Yeah,
they do. They and I also heard that they import the sand fleas.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't have sand without sand fleas.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Dale, what's one of your most fond memories of your time in service?
I think a lot of just the camaraderie, honestly, and that's probably the biggest thing I miss is all the relationships that you make with the guys to your left and right. Then there's nothing else like it in the civilian world that you'll ever really be able to replicate, in my opinion. And so I think that just being with the boys, just even in the worst situations, somehow it was just a little bit better because you had those guys, and you always figured out how to make it through. Whether that was in a firefight or whether it was just laying in the rain for 4 days in a hole. So always figure out. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's familiar with that one.
Yeah.
As we come up on Veterans Day, I just really want to ask, kind of what was the change for you in pre-service to post-service and how you viewed Veterans Day?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big way is, I mean, you kind of you realize what everybody goes through, regardless of their what they did and like their time in. You have that same bond with every veteran that you come across. You know, even people that I meet today at the racetrack. I mean, I meet fans that'll tell me that, hey, I was in the Army or I was in the Navy. Regardless, you have that instant connection with those guys and gals. And it's, like I said, just something else that's kind of unparalleled in the civilian world, in my opinion. Something I haven't been able to find yet, but it's pretty incredible community to be a part of, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's really cool. How about you, Leah?
What, my question?
Well,
Okay.
first of all, what was the difference for you in, pre-service and post-service and how you see Veterans Day?
So for me, growing up in the military, my father was in the Air Force. So the thing is, I think like pre 9/11, it was just a day. Like it was just a day that you carried on. I think post 9/11 is when it became more of a holiday to be celebrated and a holiday to celebrate and remember our veterans, because I mean, we've doubled, tripled, quadrupled the number of veterans that we had prior to post 9/11. And I think there's a lot more pride now, even amongst the community and amongst people you work with. I mean, when they find out you're a veteran, the first thing they say is thank you for your service. And I want to turn around and say, well, you are worth it, because that's what we, signed up for, is to protect and serve. And so I think Veterans Day now is just viewed as a more honorable and a more memorable tradition that we have to thank those that have served and continue to serve.
Yeah. Now, you said you had a question for Dale?
I did. So coming off of deployment, there's always challenges and there's always the unknown of what to do. After serving 27 years, I came out like not knowing what to do with my hands. I mean, I mean, for real, like you become in a routine. I mean, where to eat, when to eat, what to wear, where to be, what to be. So my question is, when you got out of the service, what did you do to help you transition from active duty back into the civilian sector?
Yeah, so actually when I got out, the reason I got out was because I had a pretty handsome offer from a contracting company. So I was military contracting for a couple of years. And after realizing that it really wasn't what I wanted to do anymore, because, I mean, in a way, you're still connected there. You're still working with, as we call them, green suitors, like active guys. But once I think I left that, I felt really, even when I was as a contractor, you feel really lost, not really having a sense of purpose anymore. Like I mentioned before, like you don't have those guys to your left and right anymore that you can laugh with and that have your back. And, most of the time they're always spread out across the world because they're stationed elsewhere or they got out and went their own way. But, I mean, to answer your question, really what kind of kept me sane and what I basically did was I went back to racing. I grew up racing my entire life, and then I stopped racing and to serve, my country. And then once I got out, I basically went right back into it because that's really all I knew. And I think that helped me a lot. It gave me a sense of purpose again, and it really helped my mental health a lot post-service.
You mentioned sense of purpose, and I think that's what a lot of us tend to lose when we get out of the military, because you're in a position to serve, and then when you get out, it's like, okay, now what? I mean, I spent 6 months as a stay-at-home mom, so when I got the call of a job offer at Purple Heart, I jumped on it, because then I found my purpose, to give back to the veterans. And then working with people that I served with previously has really helped with the transition, and working with like-minded people and working with other veterans. I mean, it's really helped that transition process and feeling like you're kind of back in a sane world.
So Paula's going to be so happy to hear you say that you and him are like-minded.
Oh,
I think
I don't
it's
know
so
that I would
true.
ever want to admit that I was like-minded with Sapala.
Well, he would never admit he's like-minded with you, but that's okay. That's another story.
He would not.
So, it's so interesting, and I think, just hearing, Dale, and he's, transitioned out after 6 years, you after 27 years, myself after injury, I personally coming home, had so many people say, well, you've been injured, just go to the house, just, relax. And it's like, I've still got value. I still want to contribute. You think about all this time, we talk about the 1%ers that are out there serving in our military. and they're truly top performers. And then to come home and be without purpose or without a mission, that's a real challenge and a struggle. And so I think you guys have really hit the nail on the head, right? It's that sense of purpose.
It's also amazing how just a 6 to 12 month deployment can just alter.
Yeah,
it
your
is
whole
incredible
outlook.
how that every veteran faces that challenge. And we're going to hear a little bit more about those challenges when we come back from this break.
Welcome back. With Veterans Day coming up, want to talk about places that you can go to support your veterans. We have Richard's Coffee Shop in Mooresville.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Great
they are
place.
putting on a Veterans Day parade.
Now, hey,
So
let's
that's gonna
be honest. This is no normal coffee shop.
This is not a normal coffee shop.
is not.
Correct. You have got, trust me, you have got to go see this place. When you walk in, you will be, one, absolutely amazed by all the memorabilia that they have and the museum that is displayed in all the uniforms. And you will also be amazed by the veterans and the attendees of the shop. I mean, they are just,
I mean, I'm one of those attendees. Would
You
you
are.
really, you're going to be amazed?
yes.
But
You
I
have-
don't think
but-
you're the reason they call it a living veterans museum.
Oh,
No.
no, probably not.
The stories that you hear from the individuals,
Really,
I
it's
mean, it is amazing at how much history, that living history that is in those walls. And it's just,
And Purple Heart Homes has had a hand in that. We've helped them with numerous projects. Got the heating and air on that roof. I mean, that was a big project. That's a commercial building. That's not just like a residential thing. So we've been partners for a long time. And hey, if y'all are in Mooresville area,
just go in, grab a cup of coffee, sit beside one of the veterans there and just talk to them. We also have American Legion and
I'll just
There's
make a
other areas.
quick connection here
please.
with Dale and one of his close family members, Carolyn, used to go down to the coffee shop a lot when Dale Beatty and I used to frequent down there in the old coffee shop, same street, just a couple buildings down.
oh yeah,
And there's this older World War II veteran. His name was Art. And Dale, I'm sure you probably remember Carolyn talking about Art. Art called Carolyn his girlfriend, and World War II veteran, and you know Carolyn's much younger, and all the guys really loved Carolyn, and you know she was very nice to them, and they oftentimes doted on her, but in the process. Art, you know, he was really just a unique individual. He worked on the Manhattan Project with Oppenheimer and Einstein.
no
wow.
kidding.
And so he was a photographer, and he had all of these photos of the testing and the building of the atomic bombs.
Wow.
And so he actually donated a lot of his photography and artwork to the museum. Unfortunately, Art passed away a couple years ago, but that's the type of character that you will find at Richard's Coffee Shop. Welcome Home Veterans is how they're more formally known as a charity, but certainly worth your time to go specifically on a Thursday or a Saturday.
yes.
And if you're not local to Statesville or Mooresville, North Carolina, hey, put in the comments where you're going to celebrate Veterans Day. We want to know where that's at. Make sure you do something. Go out there. Just if you see a veteran, they're walking around. Most of them are wearing hats or shirts. Just let them know that you appreciate their service.
Yeah, that's right. What else we got going on, Leah?
Yeah, what do we got going on November 10th there, Devil Dog Devin?
Oh, wait. I know.
Simplify.
I know. We're going to eat crayons.
Whoa. It is the 249th Marine Corps birthday.
Yay.
And that's right. Back in 1775, my Marine Corps came alive, and we're going to be celebrating again this year. You know, I always say that Veterans Day is on November 11th to give all the Marines a chance to recover from their November 10th celebrations. So if you see a Marine this November 10th, make sure you tell them happy birthday. And if you're out somewhere where there are beverages and such, buy them a drink. Maybe don't drink with them. It gets kind of rowdy.
It does get rowdy.
I want to read something with you guys, just share a little something. And I think it really goes into what Dale shared about the camaraderie and, you have this bond and this relationship.
Yes.
And I think it's appropriate, as we're celebrating Veterans Day. And I think it's appropriate also as we, as I like to say, we heal from our election process, right?
Yeah.
That there's, this great division as we're, oftentimes finding ourselves voting for somebody different than our friend, right? And these
Absolutely.
conversations that divide us. But I think it's really time for us to reunite and spend some time focusing on what we have in common and versus what divides us. And I've seen this online. I shared it on some of my social media, but it goes something like this. When I served in the Army, my life was in the hands of black, brown, red, yellow, and white toned people. We were friends. We were combatants. We were battle buddies, and we had each other's six when the hammer slammed the anvil. We trained, we sweated, and we bled together. We came together from all parts of the country. We came together from all religions. We were a society unto ourselves. We worked as a team, a well-oiled machine. We fought for our brothers and sisters through thick and thin. We protected each other. That was what we did. The only color we saw was OD green. And I think that, again, that's the definition of, really what it means to be in the military. You're all in it together.
No matter what.
Absolutely.
And like Dale said, it doesn't matter if you were in 6 years or 27 years. You still make those connections. You still have those friends for life. I mean, look, 27 years later, came circling back around and meeting you again. So, you always have those friendships. You always have those bonds, I think. It doesn't matter how many years have
And just to kind of further illustrate that a little bit before we get back to Dale and we talk more about his racing career, I think it's very true too that, while a lot of people hear us talk about, particularly me picking on Devin, or you could say Army picking on the Marines, that's all fun, right?
Absolutely.
That, rivalry, between the branches and even sometimes within the branches, right? I think about Dale. Most people didn't pick up that, I'm artillery, so I'm, 155 millimeter howitzer guy. And, I kind of made a little poke there at Dale about little small pistols, right? But, with that, we can do that, right? And we kind of get that. But if you let the British SAS come in and start picking on the Marines, and you better believe that Army's going to step in and we're gonna defend them, right? Those are our Marines to pick on. You go find your own.
That's what I like to tell someone. I was like, civilians, we can pick on each other, but if a civilian or someone comes and pokes fun.
It does always get awkward, like when a civilian starts trying to jump in. It's like,
no.
Yeah,
But we love everyone.
So Dale, let's kind of switch back. We got about 3 minutes before our next break, and then we'll have one more segment where we'll wrap up and talk about really what we've been building up to and kind of the recent victory that you've experienced here, and kind of looking forward to the next stages of your racing career. But tell us, what is it like being behind the wheel with a pit crew and having, this adrenaline as a race car driver?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to explain without you actually doing it. I like to compare it to jumping out of an airplane.
Same force.
Different, but I think it's a lot more methodical than jumping out of an airplane. There's a lot more thinking involved. It's as much of a mental game as it is a physical game. Just planning an attack. Like if you have a car in front of you, you have to plan every move methodically, depending on who's in that car and how their car is behaving. And really, it's like a big chess match. And that's part of the fun of it is figuring out how to maintain position or how to gain a position when you can. And I mean, the adrenaline is like nothing. I mean, you've ever experienced. It's you get out of the car and people always make fun of race car drivers, and I'm notorious that I talk really fast. Well, I get out of the race car, I'm talking a million miles a minute, just because I have no control over it. I try to slow myself down, but it's hard sometimes. But it is it's a blessing to be able to do what I am, and like I said, my crew that helps me prep the car every week and is there at the races, volunteering their time and it being with me and using all their knowledge to help me get to where I have been and are going is a blessing. So I'm really thankful for them and all of our partners and just everybody that makes it possible.
Well, that's awesome. And thank you for driving that car with the big Purple Heart homes on the side of the vehicle there.
It's chills thinking about it.
Man, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Such an honor.
I'm wondering, we're going to talk about in the break when Dale's going to let me drive that car. So
Never.
we're going to be right back
Never gonna
after
happen.
these messages.
So Devin, talking to Dale here in the break, and he said it would be impossible for you to drive that race car
Why would it be impossible?
because your head's too big to get in the car.
Oh, my Lord. In all seriousness, have you actually tried to get in Dale's car?
Yeah, it's not easy. He let me drive it. The day out there to take that hill, he let me get in and drive it. He said there was no way you could drive it.
Dale, is this true? Did he drive the car?
Firm or deny.
What's funny is I saw him walking
You see how
around.
Army sticks together?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw him walking at Take That Hill, and I was like, who's that? And someone mentioned that he was the race car driver, and I was like, he is so tall. Like, how does he get into that car? Like, how small that car is and the seat, and then he's
How
a
tall
giant.
are you, Dale?
I'm 6'4".
See?
6'4", and he's cramming himself in that little car. Like, seriously, like I can't.
But he gets in and out so effortlessly.
Oh, yeah.
So it's such a cool
It's
thing.
incredible.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes. You know, when I was little, I used to try doing that.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
in and out of the car. My mom hated that.
I never tried to climb in and out of the car like that. I like to slide across the hood. Then I dented the hood, and that was not a good day. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I could see you doing that.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was a thing back then. Yeah, it was quite fun. So Dale, you're kind of talking about driving a car and the adrenaline and effortlessly, kind of jumping out of an airplane, no thinking involved in that. Like so tell us about that first victory. What was that like for you?
Oh man, the first victory came as, I don't want to say a complete surprise, but I guess that's what it was. I mean, we went out and we showed speed all day, and we were really impressed by it. And then we got out in the race and making passes. We had to start from the very back of the field because of some complications, legality wise, as far as the rules go. We made a mistake and it ended up qualifying a little too light, so we took too much weight out of the car. But that was on us. So we had to start at the very rear of the field, and I drove from last place. And in about 30 laps, I found myself in first, and then we were able to complete the race and won it. And we were just in awe of what we just did and how because it was our third race in the series, and we were just dumbfounded on how we found speed so quickly. And we just continued to build on that throughout that last season. And like I said, we were able to win that championship in 2023 after 3 wins and I think 4 or 5 poles and just a lot of smart moves and good luck. We were able to clinch that championship last year.
So a lot of race car drivers, they got to go raise their own money, sponsors to be able to go race, and that's no different for you. But you've built a unique coalition of sponsors. You've got Troops Hall Junk, K-Bar Soap. You got Purple Heart Homes, Vet Cards. Who else am I missing there?
You have Veteran Merchant Services, Mr. Don Rixey.
Oh yeah, great guy.
And there's quite a few people involved in it. Like I said, the majority of, just like you said, being veterans, and that's something that's really near and dear to me. Is because not only am I getting to do what I love, they're helping me, and then I'm also helping them build their business and do something different and exciting. It's a very it's a different way to market that most companies don't really consider, and I think it's a really unique way to market, and it's something that always catches people's eyes. So I mean, having a race car sitting outside your business, it's always going to catch people's eyes. I mean, especially in like not around Mooresville, North Carolina so much because it's kind of saturated with race cars. But when you take it somewhere else, man, the people you meet that are so interested in what you do and the companies on that car is it's awesome.
And with that, you do take the car to a lot of places, but you also speak and present and represent, not only yourself and your brand, but you do a lot for those other organizations as well. And so that's kind of unique for what I've seen, as we've done some work in the NASCAR circuit, some of the larger scale drivers. You're really, for me, I find you as just a really down to earth guy to be a 2-time champion here now, and a fantastic racer and veteran. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and like the way I look at it is I couldn't do any of it without all the people surrounding me. So I really appreciate them, and I appreciate you and the entire Purple Heart Homes team. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the future and what we can accomplish in the next season.
Speaking of the future, you said that you were going to be changing series.
There's a possibility. There's still a lot of logistics to work out. Might do like a part-time here, part-time there, but hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get everything straightened out and get all of our ducks in a row, as you say. And it's going to be a lot of work, but we're ready to tackle it. And I think I can put together a pretty good team to go and do it, and maybe go contend for Rookie of the Year next year.
Yeah. Now let me kind of encapsulate this just a little bit here. So we've been saying that you're a 2-time champion. You just won that second series championship. And so tell us a little bit about that. And then we'll talk a little bit about the new series and some of the drivers that are in this next level series.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like I said, we were just able to capture our second Carolina Crate Modified Series championship, which is an amazing series. Just a wide group of people that come in and race that series. The people you meet and you're able to race against is awesome. And yeah, we're blessed to been able to be a part of it, and we still want to be a part of it in the future. But yeah, next year we are looking to make that jump up to the Smart Modified Series and possibly do some NASCAR Whelen Modified Series starts. Definitely not a full season with that, but depending on how things work out and the support that we can bring in, we're going to try to go and race the Smart Tour next year, and maybe try to bring home a Smarty Trophy, which is what you get if you win one of their races.
Smarty Trophy, man, that sounds cool.
These are not what you eat.
I was going to say that's the first thought that came to my mind.
We're not talking about the little I was thinking how when they used to have the Winston cup for the cigarettes, it's the Smarties.
No. I don't think it's the same, Devin. Yeah, and it's not a bobblehead either.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed now.
So, but I mean, this Smarty series has racers like Ryan Newman in it. I mean, these are some big names that have been around racing for decades, and so really Dale is doing a phenomenal job and really moving up the ranks. And I don't know many people that start a race last and finish first.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible right there.
Much less win back-to-back series championships, and so
and he's driving. What kind of vehicle? What's your platform there?
So the platform is it's a Hedgecock chassis. It's completely from the ground up built as a race car. So it doesn't start out as a factory car. It's completely built on a surface plate from the first piece of metal that gets laid. It's a complete race car.
Okay.
So is that a Ford, Devin? I know that's what you were looking for.
I was actually, I remember him talking something about a Pinto part.
Yeah. So one of the things that kind of sets us apart is that back in the day, they, instead of using these new racks like a lot of the more well-off teams have, they call it like a suite rack, which is dedicated for racing. That's built for racing. What a lot of teams used to do back in the day, like when my car was built, was they would use a Ford Pinto rack, and they would take it out of a Ford Pinto and they bolt it to the race car and they'd take it out there and race with it. And that's still today what we run on our car.
Funny, because my dad had a 1983 Pinto.
No kidding.
It was a brown Pinto.
Yeah.
So that's funny. That
Never
just brought
got
back
called a
memory.
bean, right?
I called it. It looked like a little coffee bean.
Speaking of, Devin's got a new car.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I had to give my other
Why
car to
did
my
you
da-
get that new car?
my daughter turned.
No, that's not what you said.
What did I say?
So you can carry what?
Oh, the kayak. Oh, that's right.
Oh, got you a kayak.
Well, I'm going to get a kayak because I've been being hounded because we have some sort of association with a kayak fishing tournament.
Yeah.
Real Heroes Kayak Fishing Tournament. So
Coming to a lake near you.
absolutely. It doesn't matter where you are. We're not doing it just in North Carolina anymore.
That's right.
Stay tuned for details.
Yep, coming up soon for sure. And Dale, this has been great having you on, and we're really excited to continue our support of your work and being able to help us share more about veterans and the need for veteran housing. You've done a great job with that, really all up and down the East Coast. And so we're looking forward to seeing you expand that effort and continue to find much success in your racing career. And we appreciate your service too, and wish you a happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day to y'all too. And like I said, it's a pleasure to have y'all in the car, and I'm happy to be a part of the Purple Heart Homes family.
It is such an honor.
What I'm most proud of
Yeah.
is Purple Heart Homes on those quarters are still pristine and beautiful, not a scratch on them.
That I guess that contributes to his good driving skills.
You know, we had the truck series. We were on the truck series for a race back Memorial Day, and NASCAR, I forget, Niche Racing, and Caden Honeycutt hit the gas tank, that the fuel tank, when they were filling the tank on the pit road, got hung up, and he made laps around the track with the gas tank flapping, and all I could see was our logo with flames all over it. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't know. That could be a cool logo. Purple Heart Homes.
Yeah, I don't know.
In
Well,
fuego.
wasn't really how I was thinking about it. But, the YouTube videos got millions of views, since that was kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was great. Free advertisement.
Yeah, the only truck going around the track with the fuel can still attached. You never know what you're going to see.
But it has been a complete honor meeting you and talking with you today.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Yes.
So, Devin, what do we got going on here next? What's happening next?
Well, next week we're going to have the barbecue chicken one more time.
One more time.
If you're in Statesville, North Carolina, stop by 755 Washington Avenue. Buy a plate, send a plate. All that goes to Western North Carolina. And if you aren't living locally, one thing that you can do is you can always go to phhusa.org, because we're helping veterans every day, no matter where they live. So we're helping a veteran near you, and you can support us doing that.
Yeah, it's really great. And Leah, I am really glad to have you on the
you.
show here, and looking forward to you taking over for me as we're entering this new studio, new phase. And so I know you're going to do a great job, but you just got to remember, the key to being a successful co-host with Devin is to bring crayons and pick on him every 3 minutes.
And laugh at his jokes.
Well,
Oh, wow.
that is an unfortunate requirement.
Hey, you've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together. Have a great day.